Yo, what's up everybody? Hope you're all doing very well today. Today's date is August the 8th. It's about 4:30 p.m. here in Istanbul, Turkey. I have been away for a little bit. I do apologize for that. Had to plan my vacation. Took a few days because we're heading to Rome soon. My parents are coming here to visit for 2 weeks. And then after that, I'm heading to a few cities in Turkey and also Barcelona. So going to be traveling for about a month and a half total there that needed to be planned. On top of my 15-year-old cat, she passed away unfortunately. This was about last week, so my lady and I, we took some days off there. We adopted another kitten. This cat, Coco, we adopted her 6 weeks ago. She's a munchkin. And then we decided to adopt her brother as well just a few days ago. So now we got 2 siblings from the same litter. These munchkin cats are pretty awesome cats. They're really expensive though. I normally don't like to talk about prices of things, but these cats were like 6,000 American dollars for both of them. So, but it was worth it. It's exactly what we wanted. So that's why I had to take some time off, unfortunately, to catch everybody up. So thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to be back for a solid week before I head to Rome for 3 days. Then I'm back to work again for about 1 month. Then my parents come for 2 weeks. So I'll be taking some time off. And then after they leave, I'll be back to work again for a week. And then after that, I'm going to a few cities in Turkey and then going to Barcelona. So lots of travel mixed with work. You don't exactly get into crypto because you want to work full time every single day, right? You get into crypto because you want that freedom to be able to travel, to be able to explore, have a little bit of extra money to do nice things, treat yourself, your family, and the things around you as well. So I ended up flying 4 of my friends down, or I will be flying 4 of them down from Canada. Round trip, of course. I gave them a free trip, basically. All that they've got to do is pay for a few small things here and there. So I gave my friends basically half of a free vacation. So that's pretty awesome to be able to do these kind of things and be in this type of position. You know, if I was still working as a mechanical engineer, there's no way I'd be able to drop like $16,000 on my friends' Airbnb and their flights round trip, right? Like you just are not able to do that as a mechanical engineer. If you're making $50,000, $60,000 a year, chances of you being able to kind of give away $15,000 in 1 year, that's going to be pretty tough. You know what I mean? So being able to work in crypto and trading and long-term investments, this is the kind of stuff that allows you to really be able to take advantage of your friends. And people are always asking me, hey, Philakone, is this the bottom? Should I be buying? Should I be selling? Should I wait for a lower price? What should I do? And my answer to you is going to be the same that it's always been for years to come now, okay? Or years in the past and for years to come. You simply don't know where the bottom is. You cannot catch the bottom. The bottom is very difficult to time. If you do catch it, it's a combination of a little bit of skill and probably a lot more luck. The professional traders, they don't snipe the bottom. Sniping bottoms is not a successful strategy for a long term. The best and most successful strategy that I have personally found is to start buying when there's a lot of fear in the market. Start buying when regions are reaching extremely oversold conditions at historical lows that have been proven to bounce before. You just don't know where the bottom is. But if these conditions are met, where they're at a historical low based off of metrics, where they have been bouncing based off of these metrics before or have a high chance to, where there's just tons of data that's pointing towards a possible bottom. Like for example, on the 200 moving average, okay, we've all seen that before. The 200 moving average has been holding for an extremely long period of time now, okay? If we take a look on the weekly, it's been holding since 2014. Every time we dip below it, it tends to recover. We dipped below here, 27%, but nevertheless, we ended up recovering, okay? We ended up dipping here below about 21%, and we have basically recovered as well. So whenever these things happen, we tend to find a possibility of major bounces, okay? So the 200 moving average is one of them. Another major indicator is that whenever Bitcoin has reached extremely oversold conditions on the weekly, for example, here, okay, here, there, here, we tend to bounce whenever we reach near 30s. Here's a really good example. This one here, this was the first low that we got in 2014. We ended up getting $153, and that $153 was pretty much a bottom, which was allowing you to ride it to about $20,000 in the bull market. The next one was over here when it reached 24 RSI. That was this bottom at 34K. It ended up going to 100 or 14,000. Let's go to log. This is a little bit easier on a log scale here. Okay. And then another low is here at 28, where we reached 4,000, and we ended up going all the way up to about $70,000. And then now we reach another low on the RSI. So could this possibly be a bottom based off of the 200 moving average and the weekly RSI? Another metric is there's over 1 billion Bitcoin addresses out there. First time in history. It doesn't mean a billion people own Bitcoin. It means that there's a billion addresses that exist out there. Highest amount of all-time high addresses. Another factor is that the amount of wallets that hold over 1.0 Bitcoin is at an all-time high as well. Okay? So more people are holding than they've ever hodled before. So there's a lot of reasons why whenever these regions were hit, or these metrics were hit, basically 4 weeks ago, right? You should have been dollar cost averaging, in my opinion, because you just don't know where the bottom is. Now, if you wait for a lower bottom, say you're waiting for 14K, 12K, 16K, 10K, 3K, you may never ever get there, right? What if it doesn't hit those points? You're now in absolutely no position. You have been very biased towards a specific price for entry and never got there. So your whole plan changes. Did you have a backup plan? What were you going to do if we never hit those prices? Are you going to buy at any random price? Right? The bottom catchers don't have a backup plan. They don't know where they're going to buy if the price doesn't reach the low that they want. That's tough. Let's say you're in a position now and you're in profit. Or you're thinking of getting into a position now. Okay? Either way, right? So if you're thinking of getting into position now, right, we're closer to a bottom than we are a top, obviously. And based off all those metrics, I'm not a financial advisor. But based on what I've said, I personally would probably, I'm not saying you should, I'm saying if I were not in a position and I understood these metrics, I'd probably be long right now. If it goes to the lower side, that's fine. I got a chance to dollar cost average lower. And based off of all these metrics that I mentioned, we're closer to a bottom than we are a top still, right? But if you don't buy, and you're waiting for a lower bottom, once again, it may never get there. But if you're in a position right now, that's the important thing, like I am. If you're in a position right now, you have the choice of waiting for a bottom or holding on for a bull market, right? So let's just say that you sell your position now because you think it's going lower. It may never actually get lower. And the bull market begins, or a huge rally begins, and you basically sold off a very good entry or a very good position. You're going to kick yourself in the ass. Unfortunately, you're not able to, it's hard to get into a good position again. You were already in one, right? So if you sell now and wait for a lower price, oh, you're going to regret it so much if the bull market actually begins or if a massive rally begins. Might not be the bull market, but it may end up being a good rally where you could have made a good profit, like say to 30K. But now you waited for a bottom, you took that chance, you took that risk, a lower bottom, it never got there, and now you're screwed. You're not in a position, right? Whereas if you hold onto your position and the bull market begins or some big rally, hey, you made the right choice to hold. But if it drops lower, right, you might be panicking but you're a long-term investor. You've got to understand that holding on is extremely important. And because it's extremely important, you held on, you get a chance to dollar cost average to a better price, and you've made the right choice in my opinion. Because you just never know when the bull market could begin. Option 1 of selling your position or waiting for a lower price, or selling your position because you think it's going to get lower, or waiting for it to get to a lower price, that's risky because it may never happen. And if it never happens, that's horrible, because it's better to be in a position than to never be in a position at all. So these are my thoughts on dollar cost averaging, and I hope that this hits home. So I was off for about 8-9 days. So did I still make money? Heck yeah, I made a lot of money still in this bull market. I just made $6,000 yesterday. So that was a really easy trade. Here was my entry for yesterday. $6,177. I entered Bitcoin at $23,078. Unfortunately, I didn't ride my position to 24. I would be up $35,000 if I was. The main reason for this is because I am in Turkey. Because I'm in Turkey, I'm not up at these hours. Therefore, I don't hold positions when I'm not sleeping. So I had to go to bed. I took my profit around these levels there, like around, I forced myself to stay up actually till about 2-3 in the morning. And then after I go to bed, the bull rally happens. And it's too late by the time I wake up around 9-10 o'clock. Right? It's already rallying, and I'm not going to buy on strength. Right? It's too late. You missed your entry. So because I'm in Turkey, I missed out on a $30,000 profit. It's not my fault. I do not hold positions overnight no matter what. I am a day trader, not a swing trader. Okay? I focus on capitalization only when I am awake. This is a set rule of mine. You need to set your own rules as well. If you decide to keep positions open overnight, make sure you have a set of rules with stop losses or specific criteria for taking profit or exiting trades. These are only rules that you can make for yourself. So if people ask me, why don't I hold trades overnight? It's because I'm a micromanager for my trades, and I need to know what's going on at all moments when it comes to my particular trade, so I can make an informed decision when new sets of data come in. I like to look at the market on a low time frame. I like to scalp mainly. I don't hold long term. It is not me. So make sure you understand what kind of trader you are. Part of my success as a trader is because I understand what kind of trader I am. And because I also set a specific rules list of what trades not to take, what trades to stay in, right? So that's important. Rules, it's what governs us as a trader. Without them, you're not going to make money. You're not going to protect your data. Or sorry, you're not going to make money. You're not going to protect your capital, okay? So I like to analyze data when it comes in. I called this very hard on Twitter too, okay? Right here. Right there. Okay, I'm watching the trend line break near 23,100 for a possible long setup. And that's exactly where I entered, $23,078, right? I said it would go to around 24,000, right? That's crazy. I'm going to retweet. Nailed it. I'm just going to show everybody. Nailed it. I literally killed it. Nailed it. And took in only 6K. But literally, how much more accurate could I be? Look how accurate this is. $24,000 target from 23,100. That's a 3% gain. If you just simply follow me on Twitter, whenever I tweet things, I got like an 80% accuracy rate. So right now, the way that Bitcoin trends is like this, okay? We can see it on multiple ways. Channels. How do you draw the right channel? You simply just don't. They're all arbitrary. They're all subjective, right? Draw it the best you can, looking the best that it can. That's it. Draw it just the best you can. If you draw it like this on a 12-hour, you're going to see this ugly region there, right? It's ugly. Super ugly. If you see it on a daily, it looks pretty bad too, right? Like that, it looks pretty bad. But if you go to a 2-day, looks pretty darn good, right? Just some bull trap or bear trap regions to the downside. So just draw it the best way that you can. So this looks like it's channeling based on the way that you see it right now, right? There's no other way to see it, right? This, people are trying to draw whatever here. It's like, oh man, just draw however the fuck you guys want to. Like, honestly, there's really no way that's going to be perfect. So who cares? Too subjective. Get rid of that. But one thing I will point out is this right here. Okay? I drew this for my group yesterday. That point right there was a heavy interest point. Okay? So if you looked at it on a, for example, on a 12-hour, you see this trend line that's been forming here for a long time. That formed for 25 days. Not only that, it was inching towards a breakout so hard. Right here. Okay? It was itching for a breakout. Right there. And it did break out. Look at it. Look at it closely like this, okay? If you just look at it just closely, this is definitely wanting to form a breakout. Right? Just like that. And it did. This guy here, this trend line at the top, was trending for literally how long now? 8 days. So the moment that it broke out there, that's where I went long on it. But I took my profit way too early. Right? Not only that, if you look on the 4-hour, actually the 2-hour is the best. You see this right here as well. You see trying to smash this region? They just can't really get above it. Like this right here. This was a big contention area. Just going up and down, up and down, up and down. Like, it was kind of like, oh man, frustrating. So that region was hard to break. But the main region that I wanted to break was here. 23,400. Right here, guys. So if you take a look closely, you'll see on multiple time frames. Actually, let's just get rid of this now. Let's say on the 3-hour, right here. Okay, the 3-hour, you can see this region where it wanted to break out badly, right? It was like an ascending triangle almost, right? Bottom, bottom, high, 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 higher, smashes out. Do you see that now? So you could have also scalped it here, but unfortunately, I wasn't available for that. You know why? Because this happened at 8 in the morning. I got errands. I got like 6 pets. I gotta do a lot of things in the morning. I gotta help out with my wifey. So I'm not gonna be trading at 8 in the morning a lot of days. So unfortunately, I missed that gigantic mass rally that I would have caught, to be quite honest. And how did I target $24,000? On Twitter? Right around here? Something like that, you know? Maybe lower. I took the lower end there. I took all this region, I factored in bull trap regions. But the best resistance is probably here now, I'd say. Around here. Right here where we are now. So we're pretty bullish based on how everything is looking. The weekly, we end up getting back up above the 55 or the 200 weekly average. Right? We're back above it. Also on the weekly, what we're seeing is a MACD crossover to the upside. So because of these reasons, I can't help but think to myself, are we in a bull market? Was that the bottom? Every time we cross over MACDs on the weekly, something usually big happens. Just to give you an example, I gotta use Bitfinex because we go further back. For example, like when you cross over huge, okay, when you actually cross over and get positive, okay, this one here did not, right? That one definitely didn't, okay. But then again, this is here is consolidating to a very bearish pattern. So we're talking about from a really high point where there's like a double now. So this is like the first one went up, came down, the 2 crossover, this is the third up. The third up made a big one, right? So just historically, do you guys understand that? First crossover up, second down, third back up. The third back up happened here, and this one did like a 356% return, right? Or even the first crossover from a low point. It has to go from a low point. So this one barely counts, I'd say. This is a 1 crossover, 2 crossover, third crossover, you can say. So this third crossover here did a pretty big rally, as you can see, right? 1,400%. So this one didn't do a big crossover. First one upwards, second down. This is the third up. The third up again. Are we going to enter a huge bull market now because of this crossover? So even though it's a lagging indicator, it's still a pretty strong metric in my opinion. I think that right now we're way more bullish than bearish. That's for sure. I mean, how could you not say that, right? I mean, we tried to go down. Bears tried to push down to the histogram here, but the bulls recovered with that histogram just today, right? On the 2-day, the bulls are just smashing up. On the MACD, on the RSI, it's really going up, guys. Like, we're breaking the May resistances of RSI, the April resistances of RSI. We're going towards March resistances of RSI. So we're really on track to kind of fly, in my opinion. But of course, there's a lot of reasons why we could still fail. 3 days really going up right now, right? 3-day just ended up breaking the May resistance RSI, now approaching the March resistance RSI. Now the 4-day is also just smashing up, but this needs to be broken right here. So the resistance, the major resistance, is right around here. 29,000. It's probably a major resistance right now. So if we break above 24,500-ish range, 25,000 range, we're gonna fly to 29. So there's a lot of momentum right now that could possibly go to the upside. So these are my thoughts for Bitcoin. I'm pretty bullish on it. I'm gonna be dollar cost averaging a lot. I just bought about $10,000 of HBAR. Big fan of HBAR. Why? Because I just love Kevin O'Leary. Whatever he invests in, I'm usually going to buy too. Because that guy's got a good track record for a good eye. Been following that guy for 7 years now, man. And I like to follow billionaire investors. They seem to know what they're talking about. They have a little bit more money than us, I think. And they sure know how to play it. So these are my thoughts. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you guys are hitting the like, subscribe to my channel. I'll try to be much more active and provide you with top tier quality content from the perspective of a $1 million trader and investor. So make sure you're hitting that like, subscribe, and that notification button. I'll see you next time and have yourselves a great day. Take care now.